Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're all doing marvellously well today. Welcome to day 11 of Vlogmas. It's going well so far. Haven't missed a day yet. Feeling very smug about it, can't lie. Things have been going well. I'm currently working on the collar of my Yule sweater. And I'm just waiting for day 10 of Vlogmas, yesterday's video, to go live. So I thought to upload. It won't be going live until 6 o'clock tonight. But I have been sort of productive. I mean, I've edited this morning. It's currently 11:15. And I've had a coffee, replied to a couple of emails, got some secret posts that I can't talk about. And yeah, I haven't really done much else yet. I've also done the thumbnail and everything as well. I'm not that fluent with Photoshop, but I do have it and I got it for work. So I find that actually making thumbnails for Vlogmas on there is a good way of learning and getting used to things and finding how things work, which is, as I explained in yesterday's vlog, I like learning things and I like the technicalities of things. So the plans today are, I need to open my advent calendar at some point, obviously. I also need to do today's episode of Christmas questions. Thank you again to everybody that has been submitting those since we started them. We should have started them on the 1st of December, really, but I didn't come up with it until we'd already started. And I also might do a bit of planting. Now, planting is not yarn related at all, but it is the literal meaning of planting. I went to a garden centre a few days ago on day 8 of Vlogmas, which was a lovely day out, and while I was there I got myself a little plant pot, because in Newcastle I still have, although I don't think they're still alive anymore, but I did have a load of houseplants which I looked after, and amazingly they survived for quite some time. However, now that I'm down here, it's actually much warmer down here, there's a lot more light, it's easier to grow, and Mum needs to sort out some cuttings. So I thought, what I would do is I will nick some. I've got some houseplant compost mix, and I'm going to be getting on with that at some point today. In terms of other stuff I need to do, I've got some emails that I need to sort out. I've got some admin work that I need to do that involves typing up notes from a previous meeting that I had, as well as sorting out some web design as well, which is all a bit of a pain, to be honest, but it's stuff that needs to be done, which is a shame because, quite frankly, I just want to sit here and knit. That's what I want to do. But apart from that, I don't really have much other plans. In terms of things I'd like to do today, I would like to get this collar done and sewn in, pick up the sleeve, or a sleeve, and then I can start the colour work on that. But again, I'm not quite sure how to do it. Luckily, I've got Mum here, who is a very competent knitter, and I'm sure that she will be able to show me exactly how she did it. And I would also like to pick up the gusset stitches for my elephant socks, because I would like to carry on doing some of those as well. I am also very tempted to cast on a vanilla pair of socks, just as something that I can pick up and just work on if I don't feel like colour work. I want to knit all of the things, and I have to say that with the weather getting colder, and I think moving back down here has actually helped quite a lot. This house is technically, it's a cottage in theory, and I'm just very much a big fan, let's say, of the cottage ways and the cottage aesthetics, and knitting is a massive part of that. I also find that with things like, I'm not going to do this as a trigger warning, but things like mental health, knitting is good for it. It's a time of year where the days get darker, the nights get longer. We've got knitting to help us through these darker months, and then we also get nice woolly things as well. I would also like to do a little bit of music today as well, just to run through stuff. I haven't picked up instruments for a few days. I took them to the rehearsal on Saturday. I would like to sort of play for me a little bit. I quite like doing that. So I'm going to also have a bit of a clean as well. Change the bedding, sort out some washing, bit of dusting. And Mum is at the door. Hello, enter. Come in. Say hello to the world, if you want to.
Hello, world.
I've done quite a bit of my collar.
Oh, I wish I could knit.
You can.
I know, but I've got to work.
You can have some socks under the table, can't you?
No, I don't think so.
It's a working from home day, though, for you, isn't it?
It is. It's a report writing day, so no, if it was a team meeting, I could get a bit of knitting done, but...
Yeah. I don't want to sound smug, but my video is uploading.
He does this every day. It's like, oh yeah, my video's been exported and I haven't even done anything.
That's because you're working.
It is because I'm working, yeah.
I would like to be working, but I haven't got a start date for my new job yet.
No, hopefully we'll find that out this week.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
One of the things that I do find as well is that when Mum is doing reports and that sort of thing, I don't like to get in the way. I'm the sort of person that if I'm working, I can work in a cafe and things like that if I've got headphones and I can block the world out a bit. But if I'm doing something and there's just someone that keeps coming in and it's more of a obvious distraction instead of having background distraction, it really puts me off. So I generally tend to squirrel myself away. So I'm going to finish this needle and then I'm going to strip my bedding and get all of that ready to go in the wash. And then I don't really know what I'm going to do first. I'm going to go and open my advent calendar. I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe make a coffee. I should probably have some breakfast as well. I'm not someone that can eat breakfast first thing in the morning. Can't do it. It's never something I've been able to do. So, yeah. I think we're just going to go and dive in and see where the day takes us. It's time for day 11, which is... We have a funky Jack-in-the-Box kind of thing. And we have... I think we all know what these are going to be. Balls. That's incredibly precarious. So I said I was going to do loads of things today. We've come out for a coffee instead. You've been working all morning.
Yeah, so I've been working all morning and I'm having a bit of a lunch break. So I've dragged Jack away from his yawl sweater to get a bit of fresh air.
I'm not happy about it at all. I want to get the collar done today.
Mm-hmm.
I need your help with picking up sleeve stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can then actually make a start on that. But also picking up the stitches on my elephant socks because I'm on the heel. So maybe that's something that we can do later on.
Yeah. We need to do that while the light's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because the yarn's quite dark on those socks. So
But yeah, I did say earlier as well that maybe I need some vanilla socks on the go.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to get my yawl sweater done. And I want to get my elephant socks done. And I still haven't blocked my my beehive yarn socks yet.
Okay.
in the Winterberry colourway.
Well, I've got to do a sock wash so we can stick them in with that.
Perfect. There we go. But yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to try not to buy too much stuff we don't need, but it's a very good garden centre.
Yeah. We normally get our wreath from here because they do the most beautiful wreaths. So hopefully they've still got them this year.
I'm sure they will do. But first stop, I think we need coffee, don't we?
Coffee. Let's go.
Everybody, I am back now. Had a lovely little time at the garden centre, and I was pretty good actually. I didn't go overboard. I got myself a little ivy, which I thought would be quite a nice thing to have hanging on the shelves that I have in my room. And I've never owned a snake plant, so I got myself one. And I got the pot because it looks like. Doesn't that just look like stranded knitting? Yeah. However, obviously what you need to do whenever you get plants is you need to give them a good water and obviously organise plant pots. So I've taken it upon myself to sort out all of the plants in the upstairs of the house. I have them all lined up here, ready to go. And I'm going to give them a water. Because I think what I'm going to do over the next couple of days is I'm going to completely rearrange my room. Not in terms of where things like the wardrobe are and the bed and everything else, but everything else. Just so that when it comes to me moving my stuff down, I know where things can go. There is some stuff in there that doesn't belong to me. There's stuff that belongs to Mum, stuff that belongs to Dad. So I'm going to kind of work around that, but I'm just going to try and utilise the space as much as I can. And hopefully find some nice places to put things. But I do need to sort out all of these plants. So we're going to give them a good water. Okay, plants are all they've all been watered, they've all been fed. A couple of them, unfortunately, haven't made it, but what I have done, this is not sponsored, but I've downloaded the Picture This app, which I've used before, and it will remind me to water plants at certain times and give me a bit of information about how to best look after them, which is important. So what I'm going to do now though is I've got some wood polish and a duster, and I'm going to go through my shelves and just sort of move some things around. There is a lot of stuff that belongs to Mum in here. There's some of Dad's stuff as well, so I don't want to necessarily throw that out of here, but I do want to kind of make use of as much of the space as possible, give it a good clean, and then I can start to think about where the plants are going to go. So this, if you didn't know, is extreme procrastination, and I'm here for it. So I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to get on with a bit of tidying. Oh, I think we need a time lapse, don't you? Let's go. And it is now 4:45, but my room is all nice and tidy. I've got projects lined up here, plus an extra project bag, just in case I want to cast something on. But all of the yarn has been sorted, everything's been put away, everything has space, it's all clean and tidy, and now I can relax a bit. I'm feeling pretty good now that I've actually decided to have a good bit of a clean up. I need to run the hoover around, but I'll do that tomorrow, I think. Yeah. Good job, jobs. Plants are all happy. Plants are in places that they should get the correct amount of light and everything that they need. And yeah, it's all been go, 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 but feeling much happier about it now. I feel like I can truly come in here and relax, which is what I wanted. So I've got a nice little candle on the burn. It doesn't have a label. I don't know what it smells like, but it smells nice. So I've got that going. And I think the plan now, I guess knit. I don't really have anything else that I need to do. Well, I do have stuff to do, admin work, that I did mention briefly earlier, but I can't be bothered, so I'm going to do it tomorrow, or when I decide to get around to it. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to knit. I want to finish the collar tonight, and I would like to pick up the heel stitches on my water for the elephant socks. And I can see a lonely pair of 2.25mm magic loop needles, so I might cast on some vanilla socks with the Owl colourway by West Yorkshire Spinners. I don't know. But I do want to get the collar done. Those of you that have tuned in later into Vlogmas, by the way, and you'll hear me going on about how I need to get this jumper done, my aim is to get it done by Christmas. And Mum is also making the same jumper, but in the original colourways, whereas I'm doing it in my own colourways. Fortunately, we're the same size-ish, but I'm a bit broader and a bit taller. But we've both been working off of a medium pattern, and it's quite handy because she has done the exact same thing that I've done. So it's been pretty good to sort of follow in her footsteps a little bit with that. But I'm really, really enjoying it. It's going really, really well. And now, once I've done the collar, is then Sleeve Island. Do I make it off Sleeve Island? I hope so. But who knows? I've also been looking at my stash and thinking about what I'm going to be using up next, and I'm not really sure. I'm not massively sure. I did talk briefly about my stash in one of the very early, it was my last podcast, my last full-length podcast. But I also need to do some spinning because I haven't done any for a while now. Spindling even, which is spinning, but I'm not using a wheel. There is a wheel downstairs, but I'd rather learn how to drop spindle first, and I'm really enjoying it. Really like it. but I just don't get much time to do it because I've got so much other stuff to do, like knit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and check up on Mum. She's been working downstairs. And then I think, yeah, might come up and knit. Either way, you'll see in, well, 3, 2, 1. Right, it's quite a bit later. The last thing I filmed, I was casting off the neck on my Yule sweater, where I have done a folded brim, and it is folded, it is sewn in, and I shall show you tomorrow. And I have just started to pick up the arm stitches. However, I'm getting quite tired, and I haven't really got the energy to focus on it right now. But it is 9:15, and I've realised that there is a segment that we haven't done yet. We better roll the music. Okay, so first of all, thank you for all the questions. There have been questions from the video that went up today for me, but they'll be answered in tomorrow's video. This whole Vlogmas day thing screws me up. We're just going to go from ones that are from yesterday's vlog and the day before. First of all, we have Jan Chow 88. Hello. Cutting a knitwear that you've spent a ton of time on is unnatural. I just learned this autumn after waiting for 3 months to be courageous. Yeah, a lot of people put it off. I completely get why. I was the same, but you've just got to do it. And then it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Been meaning to ask, what's your very most favourite Christmas tune to play and sing? That is a very, very good question. It's kind of like asking what my favourite carol is, but in terms of performance, when I am on my own, all of these, by the way, are found in the festive playlist that I've made down below, which is of folky and pre-Reformation variants of carols, as well as individual carols that you may not know of. But the first one I would say is one called The King, which it's got a lovely melody to it. It's really lovely. But in terms of like the big carols with all the harmonies and everything, probably either While Shepherds Watched. There's a variant from a place in London called Pentonville. Also a song called Diadem. Either way, I'll go with those. Next question is from Rachel Mitchell 2144. Hello to you. I'm so glad someone asked about the sessions. I was curious as well, but didn't research yet. Thank you for the playlist, and your intro guitar song, The Cherry Tree, is my favourite of yours so far. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful tune. I love the bridgy bit in your Deck the Halls. Thank you. And you are welcome for the historical delve. Christmas question is, are you and your dad the only musical folks in your family? I imagine not, but was trying to think of a question. It's a very, very good question. The answer is no, we are not the only ones. So my dad sings and plays guitar and mandolin and bouzouki. As obviously all the stuff that I do. My mum, back to Blighty, sings and plays flute and also plays melodeon, although she doesn't play it that much. We need to get her playing more. But there's also my cousin who, I don't know how old he is now, but he plays cello and sings. My grandparents used to sing. My uncle sang. Very musical family. We then have this question from MePieCrafts7799, which is, hey from Sweden. Hey, how are you doing? What is your favourite band or singer? Very good question. I think in terms of, that's a tough one. think I have some answers. First of all, and I did see another comment about this, which was about whether or not I'm into other genres, and I'm into all genres of music. I can find things to respect about every genre of music. My favourite singer is probably a singer and guitarist, and he was a fiddle player as well, called Nick Jones, who was a pivotal musician and an incredible singer and guitarist. But then there are also, I mean, I do think that the live recordings of Bob Marley are incredible. Amy Winehouse as a vocalist was so good. Here's one that you may know, you may not know, but Hugh Laurie, as in this Hugh Laurie, his blues albums, oh, they're so good. But then there's also people that I'm very lucky to say are my friends. So I will mention John Doran, I will mention Nancy Kerr and James Fagan. They're all so good. There's loads. There's loads. No, I can't answer that question. But the final question is kind of a question. It comes from Carotrike. This comment that says, "Hello Jack, it would be lovely to know the story of your mandolin if you are willing to share." I can share the story of my mandolin if you like. However, you are currently on top of the case, so I'm just going to get that out. This is my mandolin. This is another Files as well, and this is quite an old Files. It's technically it's not mine, but it kind of is at the same time. This was given to me by a wonderful musician who will remain unnamed for now, but he brought this as a backup filed for his beautifully rare mandolin, which was also a filed. And he found that he wasn't using this, and I went to stay with him for a couple of weeks. It was actually while I was getting some repair work done on my guitar, because this kind gentleman lived not too far, about an hour away from the factory, or the workshop where it was built. Factory is not the right word, it's a workshop. I'd been learning to play a little bit, and it got to the point where he said, "Oh, have a play of this one and see what you think." So I did, and he went, "Well, you could borrow it if you want." And I was like, "Oh, wow, if you're sure, then I'd love to." And here we are, about 8 or 9 years later. This mandolin has travelled to North America and toured from the west to east coast. Yeah, it's a lovely instrument. It's a bit knackered. It needs some work done to it, and it needs new strings. But it's this is my current mandolin. It's on permanent loan, and I'm very grateful for it. I would like to get my own mandolin. However, the ones that I'm looking at are currently... This was built in 1990. The ones I'm looking at were built in 1919, but it's going to be a long time before I can get hold of one of them. Those of you that know of the company Gibson, which are a very popular or very well-known guitar making company, during the First World War they made mandolins, relatively mass-produced, but not loads of them survived, and they were known as the Gibson family as a brand, and that would be the aim, because they're fantastic instruments. But I love this, and it's got a great story, and this has travelled many thousands of miles, and it lives in a ukulele case held together with a shoelace. So yeah, there you go, the story of the mandolin. So that is it for today's Christmas questions. If you want to be included in tomorrow's Christmas questions, then leave a comment with a question down below, and you never know, it might get answered. I think that's the end of Christmas questions. So let's roll the outro. Okay, everyone, it's much later. It's about 11 o'clock, and I'm gonna go to bed. You can't even see me. Let's go nearer the light. So, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your Christmas questions, and I will see you tomorrow for the next day of Vlogmas. We're nearly halfway there.